Hello everyone. Oh wait, hang on. I forgot to set a setting on my phone, so I'm hoping I can do this with disconnecting everything. So I hope we're all still there. I needed to turn off all my notifications. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. I am Ruth Norton with Ruth's Stamping Corner, and today is another Sale-a-Bration celebration, and today we are going to focus on the adorable Driving By stamp set, and we are going to make this super fun little slider card. Isn't that cute? So when you pull this little tab, the little van drives along, and his little bumper got stuck right there, but that's okay. Then he'll go. If his bumper doesn't get stuck, he keeps going. Isn't that cute? I could play with this all day. I think it's so adorable. So I'm going to show you how to make this. It's actually really easy, and once you get the basic construction down of any slider card, you can really, make any kind of slider card you want. You can make anything slide across a card. It's so cute, and it's pretty easy once we figure it out. So I'm going to talk you through the whole thing, though. You don't have to worry about any of that. Before we get started, let's go over everything happening in the Stampin' Up! World. Paper Pumpkin. Let's talk about January's Paper Pumpkin for a minute. I know some of you are still waiting to be billed and for that kit to be shipped. I am one of those people. They are still waiting on a few ink spots from the email that was sent out on Friday. So if you haven't been billed and your kit hasn't shipped, you should have gotten an email on Friday. And if you're one of my subscribers and you didn't get an email, please let me know so I can send you all those details. But basically, they are waiting for a few more of the ink spots to arrive. They were a little short on their shipment on all the ink spots. So once those arrive, which should be early next week, they said they should get it done early next week. All the billing and shipping will be done, and Paper Pumpkin will be on its way to you. So that is January's update. So hopefully if they all ship early next week, we'll still get them in time for Valentine's Day. And of course, when it arrives, I will do an unboxing here in this group. So although when it arrives, I think everybody will already know what the kit looks like. There's been some of the people who went through the earlier ones already have their kits. There's tons of unboxing videos out there. So I'll still share what's in it. But if you are curious about January's Paper Pumpkin, Stampin' Up! Also, the Paper Pumpkin YouTube channel also has posted a video about it, so you can see it there. The Safari Celebration, though, is February's Paper Pumpkin, and it's going to be super cute. It's going to have 9 cards, of course, an ink spot, a stamp set. I think this is going to be a really cute one. So if you want February's Paper Pumpkin, make sure you subscribe by February 10th, and that kit will be shipped February. From what I know, that one's going to ship on time. We don't have any delays for the February one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that one will ship on time. All right. If you are a fan of Paper Pumpkin, you want to purchase any of your kits in advance, you can purchase prepaid subscriptions in 3, 6, or 12-month increments. And when you purchase them during Celebration, you're also going to earn some Celebration freebies, which is always good. We all love free stuff, right? All right, now speaking of Celebration, last week, if you saw my Awesome Otters project, I also mentioned I'd be doing an Awesome Otters Stamp-A-Stack. There's still time to RSVP for this. The deadline to RSVP for the Awesome Otters Stamp-A-Stack is February 1st. Your Stamp-A-Stack includes 2 each of 3 designs. You're going to get supplies for all of this. You're going to get a stack of DSP. You're going to get 1 sheet of each of the Sunshine and Rainbows patterns in the DSP patterns. You're also going to get 3 yards of white seam binding, half a package of Genial Gems, and of course all the supplies for your cards. So you can get that Stamp-A-Stack. There is a link to the details in the video description, so you can get all the details on the Awesome Otter Stamp-A-Stack. Now, if you don't have the Awesome Otter set or you don't want to do the Awesome Otter set, I've also created these cards with the Happy Hedgehog bundle and with the Nuts and Bolts bundle. So you can choose what stamp set you want to do, and we are going to make the cards. The Stamp-A-Stack class will actually be held right here in my VIP group on February 19th. It'll be a Facebook Live, so we'll make all the cards together. And then after the class, all the cards and details will all be posted onto my blog, so you can get all the details there. So if you want the class, if you want to make the cards along with me and you want the class, make sure you RSVP by February 1st and click the link in the video description for all the details on that class. It's going to be so much fun. I love those cards so much. All right, Celebration. It is the best time of year. We are cruising along with Celebration. Lots of you have already chosen lots of free products. So this week we are doing the Driving By stamp set. Love this one. Now next week I am debating between the Daffodil Afternoon DSP, this DSP that you can earn for free, or the Friendly Hello bundle, which is the stamp set and the paper. So vote in the comments if you want the Friendly Hello or the Daffodil Afternoon for next Sunday's project, and I will, whatever has the most comments by like Tuesday, I'll plan a project and we will do it then. But remember, everything in the Celebration catalog you can only earn for free with either a $50 order or a $100 order. There's a couple of $100 options in my online store. You shop in my online store. When your order reaches $50, you can choose a free stamp set or a free paper, whatever you want from that $50 level. If your order reaches $100, you can choose one of the $100 options instead. So it's a really great deal, and don't forget, joining during Celebration. Joining during Celebration is $99. It's always $99. You get to choose $125 in product, and during Celebration you get to choose 2 free stamp sets along with that. Any 2 you want. So it's a great deal. Choose the most expensive ones on your wish list, and you'll be all set to go. And demonstrators get a discount. We get to see products early. You get to be part of my my team. It is a lot of fun. I'd love to welcome you. If you have questions on that too, go ahead and message me. All right, this is what we're making today. Isn't it cute? I love this. If you hear a lot of crashing and banging, my husband and my son are on their way out of the house. My son got his learner's permit, so every Sunday my husband takes him out to drive for a couple hours to get all his hours in. And thank God it's my husband and not me, because oh my God, I've done it a couple of times, and you guys, I don't have the nerves to drive with a teenager. So my husband does that, but my craft room is right next to our front door where they're exiting from right now. So they're like slamming the door for some reason. So anyway, if you heard lots of banging and stuff, that was just them leaving to go driving. But this is so cute. So we're going to make this card, and I think we're going to start with the stamping. Once we get the stamping done, then all the assembly will be a breeze. So let's do our stamping first. Isn't it cute though? Pull this little tab and it drives along. Super cute. So let's do our stamping first. So I have a scrap of basic white, and we're going to start with our little van. And I didn't do any die cutting in advance here, so this might be a longer video because I prepped everything, but I didn't. Usually I die cut. Excuse me, I die cut like the little label, all that. I didn't do any of that. So I figured we'd just take a little bit of extra time today and have some fun. All right, so we stamped our little van. We stamped him in Memento because we're going to be using Stampin' Blends with him. And you can see how cute he is. I stamped some flowers on him, which is super cute. I love that little detail. And so this is a stamp set we're using, the Driving By. For the flowers, I'm using this Hello Ladybug stamp set. This little cluster of flowers here. This is in the mini catalog. Now, if you buy this stamp set, you need to get the bundle. There's a bundle that punches out the ladybug and the wings. So it's fantastic. Get the bundle if you get it, because you're going to want that punch. And the bundle will save you 10%. Now, I'm going to open this up because I don't want to stamp over the windows. You can see the windows don't have flowers. And so what I did is I stamped this onto a Post-it note. I'm just going to use my scissors. And so I've saved these little pieces because I don't want to have to recut them. But I stamped it onto a Post-it note, and then I just cut them out. And you can reuse these, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 times before the Post-it note sticky is gone and before they get too saturated. If Post-it notes get too saturated, they will start to bleed through. So, but you can use these a few times. And so I'm just putting those Post-it notes right over the windows, and that's going to mask off our windows so that when we stamp our flowers, it will protect our windows. So I'm going to grab my little flower stamp from that Hello Ladybug stamp set. And let's see. I'm not going to worry about the tires too much because we're going to color those in black. So they're going to, if I get any on the tires, I'm not too concerned about that. So isn't that cute? So cute. And then a couple more over here, I think. I like the smaller one down here. Just like that. So we have a cute little van full of flowers. And let's see, I'm going to take off those little window pieces, and you can see our windows were nicely protected. And I'm just going to put them back on my case for now. And then if I make this card again, I already have those pieces cut out. So isn't that cute? I love it. Now it looks a little funny now because the flowers are going everywhere, but once we get it all cut out, it'll be fine. All right, I'm going to start with So Saffron on the windows. I'm just going to do little bits in the corners here. We're not going to color the windows too much. Excuse me, my throat is like all of a sudden super dry. A little bit of the color lifter just to smooth out that edge, but we're not really doing any coloring on the windows. I'm really just adding just a little bit of color. We're gonna do more for the windows later, so we're gonna work on that later. All right, for the actual van, I'm gonna color it in Pool Party. So I have my light and dark Pool Party. I'm gonna start with my dark. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start with my light. I'm going to color the whole thing with my light Pool Party, and then we'll just go in and add the shadows. I always start with my dark, but I tell you guys all the time, you can do it either way. You can do it either way. So I'm going to do it with my light first this time, and then we'll go in and add the dark. All right, color the whole van. I think my light Pool Party might be running out. I think it's time to get a new one. That is the great thing about Stampin' Blends, though. They are very affordable. So if you use a color quite a bit, you can always replace it easily. You don't have to worry about spending a ton of money. Okay, so we have our light covered in our van. And then where it's going to be darker, I'm going to go through like over here behind the little wheel area. I don't know cars. The doors are going to create a little shadow. This little wheel area here. And then the roof a little bit on each side. And then we'll just blend those out. Go back to your light. And because we added it over the wet ink, it's already going to kind of naturally blend. And we have the stamped flowers on there, so it's all going to just blend together nicely anyway. Isn't that cute? It's so cute already. All right, so that was our Pool Party. I have light basic black. And I'm just going to do the tires in light basic black. And black is very, very dark. So remember when I said if you got some of the flowers onto your tires, don't worry about it. The black will absolutely cover it up. You'll never see it. So just the actual tire part of the wheels here is what I'm coloring in the black. And I'm doing it very carefully because, again, black is very dark. If we get it where we don't want it, it's going to be hard to get rid of black. The color lifter will help, but black's very dark. Okay, that was just the light black too. The dark black is very, very dark. All right, the light smoky slate, I'm going to color the rest of the wheels, the hubcaps here. And I'm going to do the little bumpers and the tailpipe there. All right, and with the dark smoky slate, I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of shading just on the top part of the hubcaps there. And we'll just blend that out a little bit with the light. And that's it. That's our van colored. It is super quick to color this little van. He goes together very quickly. All right, we do have to cut him out though. So grab your paper snips. We're going to save this because we need to stamp our greeting on this. So grab your paper snips. It does not take a long time to cut out the van, but you want to go pretty close to the edge. Normally, I usually leave a little bit of a white border. I'm not going to leave too much of a white border this time because the bigger white border we leave, the more you're going to see the flowers that we stamped on the outside. So I'm going to stay pretty close to the van this time. There will be a little bit of a white border, but not much. But it's a pretty easy shape to cut out. The bottom is the hardest. The top and the sides are really just straight lines. So, but when you're fussy cutting, just make sure you move your cardstock, not your scissors. The cardstock, moving the cardstock, you'll get a smoother cut, and it's easier on your hand. The only thing I'm doing with my right hand is just opening and closing the scissors, and then I'm turning my cardstock into the blade to cut it. And that will give you cleaner lines. There we go. Super cute. He's so cute, right? You can't even see any of those flowers that we stamped on the outside. So that is our van. We're going to set that aside for now, and we're going to stamp our greeting. I'm going to get Coastal Cabana out again. The greeting is from the Driving By stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that, again, Coastal Cabana. We're going to die cut this, so wherever. Stamp it in the middle, wherever your scrap allows. All right, now before we put all our ink away, we are going to add some clouds to our background. So I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. It's very subtle, but it adds so much texture. There's lots of clouds in our background here. So we're actually going to do that on 3 pieces here. The slider actually has that as well. And then there's a piece of white behind it that actually has that as well. And that just gives it a continuous look. So everywhere you look, you see those clouds. So I have 3 pieces of white. Actually, that's not the right piece. Wait, is that the right? No, this is the right piece. What is this piece for? I have an extra piece of white. I don't know what it's for. Anyway, I have 3 pieces of white. I have white that is 5 by 3 3/4. This is going to be the front of our card. This is going to be where we put our little slider mechanism in here. Then I have this is the tab. This is 5.5 by 1. And then I have another piece of white. This is going to go behind it, because when you pull this out, if we didn't put another piece of white behind it, you would see the layers of cardstock underneath it. So I like to put a piece of cardstock of the same color of the front behind it. That way you see everything. So we're gonna put the clouds on all 3 of these pieces. So I'm gonna start with my biggest one, and I'm gonna grab a piece of scratch paper, and I have already pre-die cut from the Basic Borders dies. Yeah, I've already pre-die cut this cloud border. I've die cut that just as a scrap paper. This is just out of a piece of Pool Party. I'm gonna take my Pool Party ink and my blending brush, and we're just going to add lots of little clouds. So I'm going to start off onto my grid paper, and I'm just going to lightly add color over that little border, and that is going to give us a really fun cloud border. Isn't that cute? So we're going to go all the way down. I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to move my stencil around because I don't want my clouds to all be in a line, in an exact line. So I'm going to move my stencil around. Just be careful when you're doing this. You don't want to go like off the edge over here. You're going to get a sharp edge. Just lightly add that color. When you get to the edge over here, just move that stencil over and do it again. We'll come over here. And I don't need to go all the way down on this front piece, on this largest piece of white. I don't need to go all the way down because the bottom's going to be mostly covered. So I want to just go about 3/4 of the way down. This little row of clouds is so cute. I think this might be our last one. I think, well, maybe one more. It's better to go too much than have to go back and do it again. So let's do a real light one down here. So that is our beautiful cloud border. Now you can do this and then like add the rainbows on top. It'd be a gorgeous card, just like this. All right, so this is going to be the front. This one's going to be the layer that goes behind it. So it's going to be kind of mostly in this area. So I'm not going to worry about the top and the bottom of this. I'm going to just do kind of that middle to bottom third of this. Nobody's going to see this top part of this or the bottom part, so if it gets a little messy or wonky, that doesn't matter. All right, just a little bit on here. Just make sure we have that nice cloud border. Now the blending brushes, we used blending brushes, was it last week that we used them, or was it in my Wednesday video? I don't remember. But I got some questions about these little rings, and I told you that I got them on Etsy. I did look it up, and the store that I got it from on Etsy is Crafter Solution, which I know some of you probably know, maybe have bought stuff from them. They are currently not doing any orders. I think that's probably, well, maybe one more border. They're currently not doing any orders right now, so I can't link to where I got them. But if you go to Etsy and you just search blending brush markers, you'll get these little, lots of people make them. So just search for blending brush markers. I love Etsy. All right, so this is gonna be like the inside piece. So if it's a little messy, it doesn't matter. And then we have one more piece that we need to do, and this is gonna be our little slider tab. And this one we don't have to do too much because, you know, it's a small piece, first of all. But when that little van starts moving, people aren't really going to notice this piece too much. But we want to just make sure we get it done because then everything has that nice seamless look. So just a little bit here and then we'll finish up. So there's our little sliding tab with that cloud border. Super cute. So these are our 3 little border pieces, and that is it for the ink right now. We will have to bring this out a little bit later because I didn't die cut one of my border pieces, but anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. So let's get to the actual assembly of the card now that we have our little van stamped and colored. So we're going to make this little sliding piece now. When you're making a little slider card like this, there's 3 elements. You have the channel, you have the little pull tab, and then you have the focal piece. So let's start with making the channel. So we're going to take the biggest piece of white. So just make sure you're doing this in the right piece. So this one is a little bit smaller. So we're going to take the biggest piece, and I'm going to use my rectangle stitch dies for this. And I'm going to use this longest, smallest one. I told you I didn't do any of my die cutting in advance, so we're going to do this all together. I'm going to grab a couple pieces of Post-it tape because this I do not want to move at all. So we're going to, I'm just going to kind of position this maybe like an inch from the bottom, about ½ an inch from the sides, and I want to just make sure that it's nice and straight. I think that's mostly straight. If it's not straight, I mean, it won't be the end of the world. We'll just cover it up with our hills. If it's not straight, it'll be fine. All right, so grab your cut and emboss machine and your plates. I have the platform, plate number 2, 3, and then we put our paper on. Now when you're cutting something straight, a rectangle, do not put it in with the flat edge going in first, because that will put a lot of stress on your machine and that will actually make your plates curl more. So if you put it in even at a slight angle, that will help your machine a lot. It'll be easier to run through and your plates will not curl as much. All right, so we're going to peel this off carefully, take out our rectangle, and we're going to do it again on the other side. So let me pop this out. And we're going to go in about ½ an inch from the side, and you can kind of fill this lock into place with the stitches that it's already cut. So once it does that, just put your Post-it tape back on it, and we're going to die cut it again, turn it at a little angle, and we'll run it through again. And this will create our entire channel. Now if you're making a longer card, you would just do this as many times as you need to create that entire channel. If you're making like a shorter slider, then you can do it however you want. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's handmade, right? Now you don't have to use the stitch dies to do your border. I've done it with just a paper trimmer. Just cut 2 strips and then cut the sides. This is a bigger border or a bigger channel than I normally make. If you have the old classic label punch, that actually works perfect for this, but I think it still works. All right, so we have our channel. Let's do the rest of our die cutting while we're here. While we have this out, where did my stamped piece go? Here it is. All right, so we're gonna die cut this. And so let me find the right dies for that. We are using the Tasteful Labels dies. I'm gonna use this one. I thought that looked kind of like a street sign shape. And then that piece, remember that piece when I said, I don't know what this is for? I do know what it's for now. We're gonna cut a little cloud border with our layering borders dies. And let's see, I gotta try to fit all this stuff on here. We're gonna die cut that green one too. All right, so basic borders dies. We're gonna cut out our cloud. I'm gonna throw that on there, and then I have this die. This is the Inspiring Canopy dies. This is in the annual catalog, and I'm gonna use this piece here. This is like the little ground piece, and we're gonna die cut this piece of green. This is gonna be like our grass, and so I'm just gonna kind of die cut that a little bit in half, mostly in half. I want one piece to be a little bit bigger than the other. All right, we're gonna run all this through. Hopefully nothing moves. You know what? We're not even gonna give it a chance to move. Just put a Post-it note on it. This, I think we're just gonna risk that. Maybe. It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. All right, it'll be fine. I use Post-it notes for everything. Even when I'm, you know, not on video die cutting, I use Post-it notes for everything. So I never really die cut without a Post-it note. So it makes me nervous. But it came out okay. It's a little crooked. It's all right. We're going to make it work. Our road's a little crooked. Our sign's a little crooked. It's okay. It's okay. All right, put the cut and emboss machine away. Get all of our die cuts. Now we're going to add some color to this cloud. So I'm going to leave this guy out, put my dies away, or at least over there for now. Move my trash out of the way. All right. So we're going to use both of these pieces. They're just going to be layered up like a fun little hilly road. All right, move those out of the way. This is our trash. All right, I think we made it. All right, let me grab my ink again. This we're just going to trim and put behind our little sign right here. So we just want to add a little bit of color to this, to our little cloud die cut. So the white piece, just ink up with Pool Party again with your blending brush and just add some color to the tops of the clouds. Okay, and that is it. Just some quick color to the top of the clouds. Doesn't have to be perfect. Clouds come in all colors and shapes in the sky, so it's fine. All right, let's get all of our pieces now. Back to our piece over here. So we said, so I told you needed, to make that slider card, you needed a channel. So we've created that channel. We have the slider piece. This is piece number 2 that you need. You need a piece that you can pull. So we're actually going to punch this piece. This is 1 inch by 5.5, and then I have my lovely, what is it? Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. I think that's what it's called. And I'm just going to stick it in to this side. Flip it over, just make sure it's nice and straight. We're going to punch it. We have this nice little fancy border now. And this will be what we pull our card with. And then the final piece is your focal image. So we have our little van here. So I am going to use, for a lot of my assembly today, I'm going to use the foam adhesive strips. So the foam adhesive sheets, not the strips. The strips are different, but the foam adhesive sheets I'm going to use. And I'm just going to cut a little piece, a little rectangle. It's about maybe 1/2 inch tall, and it's about the size of our little van here. So I am first, oops, I shouldn't have taken the backing off that because now it's sticky. Before we stick our van on, I want to just make sure that our piece, our little pull piece here, covers up that channel completely. I'm going to flip it over, just make sure everything is kind of mostly straight. Our little channel is not straight, but that's okay. And I'm going to stick this right into the middle of the channel. You're not sticking it to the channel. So you can see it will go behind it. You're not sticking it to the channel. It's freely moving. Once you get that in there, you're going to peel off the back of this, and we're going to sandwich the little channel piece right in between it. So we have our little van there, and he will slide back and forth along that channel. Isn't that fun? Now we do have to fix this little problem where he wiggles up and down. We don't want him to wiggle up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this back over, and we're going to use those foam adhesive strips again. Sheets. You can use the strips too. The strips are not my favorite only because they're a little bit thicker than normal dimensionals. This is the width of a normal dimensional, so if I use dimensionals anywhere else on the card, it's all going to be the same width, same height. The foam adhesive strips they're a different height. They're a little bit bigger. So once you have make sure our van is straight on there. Flip that over. Once you have that on there, I'm just going to put these, not touching that pull piece, but right up against it. And that will help our little van glide along, but it's not gonna move up and down anymore. So I'm just gonna finish off the line up here. Put that piece there, and just one more little piece. Whoops. So the assembly takes a few minutes, but it's totally worth it. You have your little piece, just make sure it slides back and forth. You can see that sliding perfectly. And then I'm just going to just cut this piece in half. This will go onto that smaller piece that we also use that cloud border piece on. That cloud border die. All right, peel all these off. I didn't do a good job peeling those off. Hello, peel them all off. Lots of little pieces. These foam adhesive sheets are great for die cutting too. I've die cut a lot of stuff with these. These are just fantastic to have in your stash for a variety of things. All right, so we're going to, let me do this upside down. We're going to put our cloud piece on, just right on the back, just covering all of that. Now, when you pull it, you have that same background right behind it, that same cloud border background. So it all looks very seamless. It looks intentional. It looks perfect. All right. All right, we can finish assembling this card. This can now go onto a piece of pool party that is, what is it? It's 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to go onto a piece of pool party. And you can use whatever adhesive you want. I just use Stampin' Seal. And now we need to add our little grassy ground. And we probably should have done that before we put on our pool party, but you know, that's okay. All right, so we're going to take the smaller piece. I want the bigger piece to go on the bottom. We're going to take the smaller piece, and I'm just going to put adhesive along the bottom. Some of that, the hills are going to poke out the top, and I do not want that to interfere. So, and I'm just going to put that kind of behind the van. I'm going to just place that behind the van. This Pear Pizzazz piece that I cut was 2 by 5, so it's the same length as that white piece. And then this piece will pop up with dimensionals. And actually, I want to trim the bottom of this just a little bit. Looks a little tall, so I'm just going to trim about 1/4 inch off of that. If we need to trim more, we can. So let me see. Let's see how our van's going to look. I think we should trim a little bit more so we can see more of the van. So you can probably get away with maybe 1.5 by 5 with this piece instead of 2 by 5. I think that would be just fine. There we go. I think that's perfect. So we're just gonna see what it looks like, and our little van will slide right through it. Very cute, just like that. So we're gonna put this up on dimensionals. I'm just gonna use the strips again, and I'm just going to adhere it along the bottom. Don't put any dimensional adhesive along the top, because that your van will not be able to drive. All right, one more down here along this bottom. And peel off those backings. There's so much trash now. All right, and now we'll just line this up with the corner down here. Maybe, just like that. There we go. Now our van will drive along in that hilly countryside. Isn't that cute? So cute. I just love it. Okay, so let's finish our greeting. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive on the top and bottom of this greeting, and I'm just going to go through. I'm going to just put a little bit of, see, I'm going to pick which pieces I want. Kind of want that. Just trim this off like that, and then decide which piece you want for the bottom cloud, just like that, and then just trim that off. All right, so now we have our little cloud accent piece with our little greeting. More adhesive on the back of that, and we're going to add some ribbon. This is the Pool Party sheer ribbon. This is some of my favorite ribbon, and I'm just going to weave that just back and forth. Once that way, and once that way, it'll stick to that adhesive. You don't have to worry about bows or anything, but it adds a little bit of extra texture to that sky. And we'll stick this on with dimensionals. Let me grab some dimensionals here. Stick this on. I'm going to put a few on. It'll help hold that ribbon in place. And when you put this up on your card, just make sure that you pull your van over as far as it can go, because you don't want it to interfere with your van. So put that on there just like that. Our van will still drive. It's so cute. I'm loving it already. All right, let's stick this onto our whole card base now. And our card base is Coastal Cabana. It's an 8.5 by 5.5, and then I scored it in the middle at 4 1/4. So this is our whole card base. It'll open just like that. You have your little card. Isn't that cute? I could do this all day, guys. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. All right, now we're gonna finish up our card with a few things. Let me start with this. I've already pre-tied a bow using the Essentials Baker's Twine in white, And I'm going to use a glue dot. I want to add that to my little handle over here, just to make that stand out a little bit more so people know that they need to pull it. And you can write pull on here too. You can write, you know, pull with a little arrow. You can easily give it a whirl dies. Those have arrows in it. You can always cut one of those out and add that to it so people know that they need to pull it to make it interactive. And then we're going to use some of the shimmery crystal effects. I told you guys we were going to come back to the windows. We're going to make the windows fancy. And I am just going to go over the windows with this shimmery crystal effects. Now this will take probably about an hour to dry. I would give it some time, especially depending on how thick you do it. So don't stick this in an envelope as soon as you finish, because you'll glue it to the inside of the envelope. But this adds so much shine to the windows. It makes them look like glass. And there's a little bit of sparkle in it too, so it's going to make it look sparkly and shiny. So I'll show you this one, because this one is dry, so you can see that shine on there. And it's sparkly too. In real life, you can see all that sparkle. And I'm going to go in with my Wink of Stella, and we should have done this before we did the crystal effects, but that's okay. I'm going to go over all the flowers, just real light, gently. You don't want to go over it too much because the memento might start to bleed, but just go over the little flowers, add a little bit of sparkle. I would love to drive a little van like this with flowers that sparkle. So cute. Okay, so he's going to drive along just like that. Now I wanted to add a little bit of color. I felt like it needed some pops of color, so to finish it off, we're going to add some of these loose flower flourishes. These are in the annual catalog. I'm going to grab my Tombow glue. You can use glue dots as well. And I'm just going to add a couple little flowers to our little hillside. And use your take your pick tool and add those flowers right into that glue. Again, give this a few minutes to dry. It will need a couple of minutes to set and dry. Let's see. There, it's so cute. And one more over here, one more little one, and then we'll do, let's see, I need a pink one. I need this one to turn over. Your take your pick tool is a lifesaver with these little tiny embellishments like this. All right, so that is it. I'm going to leave this one. I don't want to touch that one because that one needs to dry. But this is our card. Isn't it so cute? So once you get those 3 elements down, you have the channel for your sliding piece. You have the pull tab to make it slide, and then you have your focal image. You can do this with anything. You can do this with, like, the otters. They could be swimming in the ocean, and you could pull them. They could swim. There's so many things you could do this to. But as soon as I saw this driving by stamp set, I was like, oh, I'm making a ton of driving cars. They're going to all drive by the road. It's going to be so cute. So this is today's card. I hope you guys liked it for our celebration. It's so cute. There's so many details on that little van. I'll have pictures and measurements and everything on my blog post, which will go up in a few minutes as soon as I get the video downloaded. And if you need to shop for any supplies, head to my online store. Use this host code. This is January's host code. We are almost to the end of January. We only have about a month left, or not a month, a week left of January. So if you need to shop in January, use this host code. If you're on Facebook, I'd love it if you'd like this video and share it with your friends. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. When you like and share, or you like and subscribe, it really, really helps my business grow, and it's free. It doesn't cost you guys a thing, so I would really appreciate it if you guys help me out. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Again, make sure to vote if you missed the beginning. Where's my celebration catalog? Here it is. If you want to vote on which one we're going to do next week, you can vote on either the Friendly Hello stamp set and the paper, or the Daffodil Afternoon one. So let me know what you want to see next week for our Sale-a-Bration celebration, either the Daffodil Afternoon paper or the Friendly Hello bundle here. All right, guys, I will see you guys on Wednesday in my business page. I have another fun project there. And I will be back next week at 10 a.m. for our Sale-a-Bration celebration right here in my VIP group. All right, guys, have a great week, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.